Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you enjoy thoughtful deep dives into the stories behind your favorite stars, please hit like, subscribe, and tap the join button to support the channel. Today we're talking about a day that fans have been dreaming about for years, the wedding of Yağmur Yüksel and Barış Baktaş. The headlines were everywhere, the photos were impossible to ignore, and the atmosphere, both in the venue and online, felt like the final chapter of a long, romantic novel that started on set and ended beneath a canopy of lights. Let's walk through what happened, what it looked like from the inside, and why this ceremony felt different from every other celebrity wedding this year. It's easy to forget how far this couple has traveled to arrive at this moment. Long before a date was chosen or a ring flashed on social media, there were months of grueling shoots, early call times, last-minute script changes, and the strange intimacy of building a love story on screen while guarding a real one off-screen. When fans say that the chemistry between them felt inevitable, they aren't wrong, but chemistry doesn't plan a wedding. Commitment does. And according to people close to the couple, that commitment took shape quietly, steadily, in everyday gestures, sharing notes after difficult scenes, supporting each other when the camera wasn't rolling, and keeping the relationship low drama even when the press tried to invent chaos. The proposal, we're told, was not a spectacle with drones and fireworks. It was intimate, deliberate, and designed for two. In that sense, the wedding itself, though considered magnificent by guests, wasn't an exercise in showing off. It was an expression of taste. The venue, one of Istanbul's most coveted waterfront locations, was chosen for its layered character, classic architecture that photographs beautifully at dusk, modern acoustics that allow a live band without drowning out the vows, and enough gardens to create multiple moments throughout the night, cocktails under olive trees, a candlelit aisle, and a terrace where you could hear the Bosphorus if you listened carefully. The theme leaned into exactly that feeling, a warm summer night, not a winter palace. Instead of hard metallics, the palette centered on soft whites and creams, with accents of pale green and hints of champagne. Florals were everywhere, but not in heavy towers. Think low arrangements that invited conversation, loose clusters of garden roses, and linens that didn't glare under the lights. Guests entered through a path of lanterns, each glass case catching the flame like a private sunrise. If you were there, you didn't need a program to know what the evening was about. Tenderness, not theatrics. Timing mattered. The ceremony began at blue hour, that short window when the sky and the city agree to be the same color. The aisle was short, nobody wanted a runway, but long enough to let the music breathe. Yağmur's dress honored the theme, timeless lines rather than trend-chasing flourishes, with handwork you could only see up close. The veil was long but weightless, catching the breeze for a second that photographers will be framing in their studios for months. Barış's suit was the kind that looks simple until you notice the details, a subtle textured weave, razor-clean tailoring, and a tie that didn't fight the setting. Together they looked like what they are, two people who understand that elegance is the art of removing what you don't need. Their vows were short, personal, and delivered with the steadiness of people who have practiced saying important things to each other without an audience. There were no public promises that sounded like PR lines. Instead, a few carefully chosen words about patience, about the comfort of silence, about learning to rest rather than run when the day ends. When the officiant named them husband and wife, there wasn't a roar so much as a swell, the kind of applause that starts in the throat because you're trying not to cry and clapping is a way to breathe. If you were following online, you saw the moment a friend uploaded the first wide shot from the balcony, the candlelit aisle cutting through a sea of tables, the couple turned halfway toward their guests and halfway toward each other, and a horizon that looked painted. Within minutes, clips migrated across platforms. Fans in Ankara and Amsterdam and Los Angeles were suddenly there too, pausing their evenings to watch two people they've rooted for step into a new chapter. The comment sections were a chorus, part congratulations, part disbelief, part nostalgia for the years when everyone was just guessing. Celebrities came, but nobody tried to outshine the couple. Co-stars stopped by their table to whisper memories from early shoots. Directors kept it brief and sweet. Musicians who could have turned the night into a concert chose restraint, favorites played softly during dinner, something more joyful after midnight. Instead of speeches that drag, there were toasts that did their work in 2 minutes or less. The most repeated line of the night was also the simplest: "I'm happy you found each other here, in this life." The food avoided the usual wedding menu clichés. Local, seasonal plates arrived in waves, small enough to keep people moving, good enough that nobody left hungry. Zero waste practices were built into the plan, leftovers went to partner shelters. Even the cake sidestepped spectacle, classic flavors in clean tiers, cut without fanfare and served without a photo op that halted the party. Because social media was always going to be part of the evening, the couple took control in advance. Guests were gently asked to wait until the official account posted a first look. When that image landed, a black and white close-up of interlaced hands that could have been captured any decade, everything else followed. It set the tone. It said, share the joy, not the gossip. And for the most part, that's what happened. Edits popped up across fandom pages within hours, but they were wholesomely assembled: rehearsal clips, red carpet glances, quiet behind-the-scenes hugs from years ago that suddenly felt like foreshadowing. Those who have watched their journey saw a final layer that casual observers might have missed. This wasn't just an event staged for the timeline. It was an answer to 1,000 small questions. Can love survive when it's built in public? Can two people hold on to themselves while sharing a story with millions? Can you celebrate without turning your life into content? The ceremony suggested yes, yes, and yes, if you're careful with what you reveal, serious about the work beneath the romance, and humble enough to let your people carry you through the noise. After the formalities, the night shifted gears. The first dance wasn't a choreographed showpiece, it was a conversation set to music, easy steps, heads close, a smile you could see from the back row. Parents cut in. Old friends formed a circle. The playlist moved from standards to the kind of songs that pull everyone outside their cool, aunties, co-stars, the lighting tech who gave a cheer when the chorus hit. You can manufacture a lot for a camera, you can't fake that kind of warmth at 1 a.m. Naturally, questions about the future began immediately. Will there be a honeymoon? Where? When does work resume? The sensible answer is the one they seem to prefer: soon, quietly, and on their terms. Both have projects lined up, and both understand the discipline it takes to keep a home peaceful when schedules get loud. The wedding wasn't a signal that they'll disappear, it was a promise that they'll move forward with a stronger center. What does this mean for fans of their on-screen partnership? Ironically, it may free them to take bigger risks. When the personal foundation is stable, the professional can stretch. Expect scripts that trust them with grown-up complexity, directors who lean into their ability to say everything with a look rather than too many lines, and producers who finally accept that subtlety sells when the actors can hold it. Before we close, it's worth appreciating the people you didn't see, the planners who kept the timeline invisible, the stylists who understood that comfort photographs better than stiffness, the photographers who shot the room like a memory rather than a billboard. Everyone knew their role. That's why the night felt effortless. That's why you remember feeling, not just decor. If you were hoping for a dramatic twist, I'm glad to disappoint you. The point of this wedding was that there wasn't one. No breakups disguised as cliffhangers, no speeches that punched up a narrative. Just two people, long in love, finally saying the quiet part out loud in front of their families, their friends, and a public that, whatever the headlines, has always wanted this ending for them. Congratulations to Yağmur, Yüksel and Barış Baktaş. May the everyday be as beautiful as the photographs, and may the work you share with us continue to carry the calm you built together. If you enjoyed this inside look, please like this video, subscribe for more long-form stories about your favorite stars, and tell me in the comments which moment from the wedding images moved you most: the vows, the first dance, the terrace at dusk, or that perfect veil in the breeze. Your thoughts help shape what we cover next. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.